you never know what's going to happen in any given day. And some days things are pretty straightforward, and then some days things are pretty strange. If you spend any time with me, you'll realize that the days turning pretty strange are probably a little more common for me than most. So Sunday morning, I get up like any other Sunday morning, get everything ready for my sermon, get out, drive around the block, realize I forgot my phone, turn around, go back, get my phone, and drive off to church. Everything's fine. At the end of the service, I look at my phone and it's like, oh, I got a phone call. Well, when I get in my Jeep, I'll call them back. I'm not one of those people that can actually leave a phone number that if I don't recognize it, I have to call it because I'm curious. Like, who's calling me? I need to know. Anyway, so I called them back and I said, hello, this is Tim Hooper. I got a phone call from this number. Yes, this is Constable LaFontaine, something like that, French. And you are a person of interest in a murder case. I was, excuse me? So are you familiar with Chris Henley, I think it was? I said, no, I've never heard of the guy. Well, your name has come up and we need to talk. I'm like, okay, well, come on over. And so that afternoon, a couple of police officers came over and sat down, and I said, so what's going on? And they said, does this number sound familiar to you? And I said, no numbers sound familiar to me. But I'll check my phone. And I checked my phone, and lo and behold, that number was in my phone. And I said, yeah, oh, I know this guy. He's a little nuts. He was a guy that I hired to do some mudding and taping. Ended up doing a horrible job, taking 3 times as long as he said he would do, and ended up threatening my life. And they said, oh, really? That's ironic. Unfortunately, when he was threatening me, he was in front of 5 other guys, and I said, dude, you're threatening my life in front of 5 other people. I mean, that's not too smart. If anything happens to me, who do you think they're going to go after? Well, anyways, I guess he took it out on somebody else. And so I remembered, I said, we'd get into the conversation, and I said, I remember when this happened, one of my guys, after I fired him, one of my guys said, yeah, I don't think you should have hired him in the first place. Yeah, I know him. He's nuts. When he was in prison, I said, what? When he was in prison? Oh yeah, he just got out of prison, and he starts going on and telling me why the guy went into prison and all the issues. And I'm like, this is not good. And I said, dude, why didn't you tell me? He goes, well, you know, I didn't know if it was my place. And I said, did you know that this guy was probably going to be trouble? And he said, well, yeah. And I said, and you didn't take the time to tell me. So anyways, my employee and I had a heart-to-heart where I informed him of what his responsibility was when it came to crazy people coming into my life. And we laughed and we laughed. What a day that was. Anyways, and I got to thinking about this. So I've got this guy that has information for me, and is afraid to tell it, to say it. He's got some questions about my decision-making process, and yet he's afraid that the consequences of him being honest with me might cost him something. So he decides he's not going to say anything. And I looked and I thought, that is not right. And then I realized how often we do that. How often we see there could be a potential problem here, but we would just rather go along with everything. Because why? Because it doesn't cost us anything. If somebody's making a bad decision, we can just affirm them and say, oh yes, because we just have to listen to one side of the story. We only listen to one side. We don't have to be accountable for finding the truth. And we just allow people to continue on in self-destructive behavior and attitudes and actions. And we're supportive. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's so hurtful. You know, you got such a raw deal. Oh yeah, this was... never realizing that maybe, just maybe, they might be wrong. The Bible says this, preach the word, correct, rebuke, and encourage with patience and careful understanding. Careful understanding says I might not have all the information, and I'm only getting it from you. I definitely don't. My dad used to say when me and my siblings would fight, he goes, there's your truth, or it's like, there's your story and there's your story, and somewhere in between those two stories is the truth. My dad would never just accept the fact that just because I was saying it and was very passionate about it, I was right. See, the thing is, when we tell a story, we number one, we tell it from our perspective. Number two, we tell it from our perspective of self-preservation. And a lot of times we tell it from our perspective of pride. This is all about me, and this is all about what I want and how I think that people should be treating me and what I think I should be getting. We need people to be able to speak the truth. Speak the truth in love, but speak the truth. Don't be a friend that just accepts one side of the story. Pastors, don't sit with somebody and counsel them without hearing, at least looking into what might possibly be more information that could help you counsel better. I remember somebody getting very upset about another contractor and some things that they were doing, and I just jumped right on the bandwagon. Yeah, they're wrong. And then I talked to the contractor, and the contractor said, listen, this is what we ran into. This is what we were doing, and this is why we did it. And this is a problem we had. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I felt like such an idiot. Why? Because I didn't take the time to ask the questions. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you this morning. I would encourage you to preach the word. Be prepared to, in and out of season, to correct, rebuke, and encourage, but do it with patience and careful understanding. Hope that's been an encouragement. God bless you.